Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Saddest Night Out. My name is Roy, and I am the host of this daily podcast, and it's primarily about music and creative culture in London. Today's episode is a bit of a short and sweet one. I am talking to one Pete Richy, who did in fact perform at last night's open mic night at the Nelsons in Hoxton. It was another fantastic night. A lot of great performers, some fantastic weather as well, and a surprise appearance from Romeo Crow, who I actually never got to talk to for the podcast, but there'll always be a future opportunity for that. It was just nice to see him. So Pete has been a bit of a regular at our Thursday nights at the Nelsons. He tends to come along with Jode, who's another semi-regular at these nights, and hopefully I'll get him on the podcast as well. Pete's beginnings in music aren't in London, and that is primarily what this episode is about. He has come to London, and it's looking like he might leave London in the near future. So this is just us. For the first time, I think this is the first time Pete has been on a podcast or interviewed, so it's a world premiere for that reason alone. But we find out a bit about Pete's story before London and what it might look like after London as well. So this is me talking to Pete Richy outside the Nelsons. And yeah, I think I'll catch up with you a little bit afterwards, but enjoy this chat. It is a gorgeous Thursday afternoon. We haven't yet started the open mic at the Nelsons. I'm here with someone who might be playing tonight and who also might be leaving the town quite soon. What's your name?
My name is Pete Richy.
So if you leave London, where would you be going to?
I'm going to be going to Manchester, right in the centre of Manchester by Piccadilly Station.
When was the last time you were there?
Let me think. I think February. Not for a good reason, for a funeral. But I've been going back a lot over the last year, visiting family and stuff like that, and yeah, ready to settle in there now.
Have you ever lived there before?
Yeah, I was at uni. I lived in Manchester for a year at that time, just off Oxford Road, right in the centre again. So lovely place to be.
You were saying you played a lot of music in Manchester when you were there, then you came to London and left music behind a little bit.
That's right.
Now you're picking it back up a bit.
That's
what
right.
was your music life like when you were living in Manchester?
I started out as a busker in Bolton, actually, and that was fantastic fun. That's sort of where I learned to sing and develop my style and stuff like that. And then from that, I sort of started landing gigs while I was out on the street, and I would be playing just, local pubs, and I met a few people that run nights at different places and stuff like that. So I was getting in on the scene, had all my own equipment, and was starting to set up my own stuff before I moved. Then once I came here, like I say, I just got a real job and sort of left it behind.
Life got in the way a little bit.
Exactly, yeah, precisely.
So was it always original material that you would be playing?
Not always, actually. I do a lot of covers. You've seen me play. I do a lot of covers, and I do throw in my originals there. But it's always that thing of you don't want to sort of bore people with your original material that they've not heard before. So you have to sling in something that's really poppy or just popular in general, and that they're going to enjoy.
The crowd pleasers. You got to keep them on your side, that kind of thing.
Definitely, yeah.
But you mentioned you started writing again. So how much material do you have?
I've forgotten more than I can play to you right now, but just recently, I've started writing again. I've got 2 songs that I wrote just last week that I will perform here tonight.
Awesome.
Yes.
We'll have some of that.
As long as I'm on the list, that'll be all right. I've got a lot of material. I've got probably a few albums worth of materials that I could put down if I had the resource and I had the time and the space to do it. I'd love to do that.
So at the moment it's more nebulous in your mind, you know it, rather than like I've released this EP, etc.
It's on paper. I've got nothing out there right now, but you can find me on Instagram under @PeteRichy_, and I have a Facebook page under the same name as well, Pete Richy, with a Y instead of a IE on the end.
And this is primarily performances, I guess, then?
Well, just like bedroom recordings, really, that I put out there. When I'm practising, when I'm writing stuff, I put out what I've got there. There is a YouTube channel, which has been sorely neglected for the last 3 years. So it's got some very old stuff on there. But hopefully, I've been trying to get some live videos while I'm performing here and performing other places around London right now. But my friends keep letting me down with that. So I just need someone to hold a camera for me, and then I'll be able to start posting some good stuff and, have something to show.
We'll watch this space in the meantime.
Watch this space, indeed.
And if you are leaving next month, we'll always have the memories, We'll always have this podcast.
I think I might be back, to be honest. Manchester's going to be fun, but I like London a lot, so I'm thinking in my head right now, maybe I'll be back one day.
Well, I'll keep my eyes peeled in case you are.
I'll look you up.
Thanks a lot, Pete. And that was that. Thank you very much for that, Pete. Keeping it short, keeping it sweet. Yes, I know that rhymed, and it was semi-intentional. That was a fun chat, and it was a really nice evening that we all had. He did perform. I think he played 2 new songs last night as well. Songs that he's still in the process of finishing. And I always like when artists do that, because it shows they have a certain trust in their space that I've created. They have a certain confidence in their own performance. That, yeah, I could give you the classics, the hits from my set list that I know will get the crowd going or whatever, but I'm going to let myself be vulnerable and play something that isn't finished, something that I'm working on, something that might not be the complete crowd pleaser that my other material might be, but that is a testament to the good atmosphere I've created, that you feel you can do that and it won't be such a bad idea. So thank you, Pete, for playing last night and also for playing newer material. He really does know how to rock our house guitar. I can't help but notice in listening back to that conversation with Pete, there's a certain way to the way I talk. I tend to say a whole sentence and then wait to say the last 2 words. I think I've been maybe a little heavily influenced by news reporters back in the day. As I'm laughing about the fact that I talk like that, I can't help but lapse back into it. Maybe I should seek help. But this was a fun chat. It had been a little while since I'd whipped out the phone to have an impromptu chat with someone for the podcast, and I can't think of anyone better to help me get back on the horse of doing that with than Pete Richy. Watch this space, Pete Richy _ PETERICHY. I think that's how you spell it. Bear with me, I'm tapping on my phone again to try and take a look. Yes, PETERICHY _. That's how you can find him on social media. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode, whenever that may be. But until then, take care.